Hey you early birds, welcome to Custom Carving and Epoxy UK, and I hope you're all doing well. Now this is a first for me. I'm actually going to create live, and it's because I really wanted to get involved with this collaboration, and the mould only came today. So I've got Lisa in chat, hopefully helping out in chat, and we're just going to go ahead with it, you know. I'm going to let you guys see how I create, the way that I do it, and let's see what we can make. So I've got the Let's Resin Axolotl mould. First time I've received it, so I've never played with it, so it's going to be really interesting. And I've seen some amazing makes today watching this collaboration, so well done to Erica at Kitschy Kitchen Studio and Lula and everybody else that's been helping with all these videos, and there's been some amazing creations. I can't wait to do my first axolotl. So here we go. Now it says 4.5 ounces there, but from seeing what people have been saying, I've mixed 6 just to be safe. So it's a great little mould, and I've seen some great characters. So it's what I do with it, and I've had so many different ideas today. Thanks for the good luck, Sherry, as well. Appreciate it. But the postman came this morning, and he's come with some amazing pigment pastes from Create and Bloom. So I got a set of 6, which is the Windswept set. So you get Red Squirrel, you get Bee's Nest, and look at those colours. You get Sweet Pea as well, which is a light purpley colour. And Blackberry, which is a purpley colour again, a darker one. But the two that I was really keen on when I saw them for this particular make is this one, which is called Oink. I'm going to try and fix the echo now. It's because it's on my laptop in the background so I can chat with you guys. So give me 2 seconds. Can you let me know if that has fixed the problem? Let me know in chat. I can still see the chat on the left-hand side of my phone. Can you hear an echo now? It's fixed it. Brilliant. So, again, this is my first time doing a creation live, so apologies for any technical issues we might have, especially if you're watching it back. But these were the 2 colours that I was really excited by. One called Oink, which, again, is a little piggy pinky. And another one called Dahlia, which again is a slightly deeper pink. So I just thought they would be really cool in this axolotl. But you know me, I don't want to just do that, you know, pour some pigment paste in. It's not very me if I do that. And if you've been following the channel, you know I've been playing a bit with Tiny Turner pigments to everybody's horror and ruining them. But there's one called Poison, which again is a pinky glittery colour, which I thought would look really cool in this axolotl if we place it in the right places. And then I've got some of these iridescent pink sparkly flakes, which again I thought would go great in this axolotl mould. But I've never done this before. I've never even used this mould before, and this is live. Anything could go wrong. All I've done is mixed up the resin, and I've got 6 ounces there. So you're doing this as well as me. So I'm going to have a look for my smallest paintbrush that I can find at the side. And I think that's probably the smallest one I've got. Don't say go wrong. That's not very nice, is it? But I'm thinking, I love Arcane, but for this one, I think Poison is a more pinkish colour. So I'm going to get a tiny bit of this Poison. And look at those sparkles. Absolutely stunning. So this is going to be step 1. And I'm sorry, not sorry that this is going to have a few steps. But I want to get some of this in the gills, or the flaps as they're now commonly known. So I'm just going to spread some of it right into those gills so that we've got some of the Poison on these gills. Not too much. But I want a bit of sparkle in those flaps, sorry, not gills. as they're now called. We now have flaps going out all over YouTube. And again, I'm just trying to be careful to get them in the flaps, not everywhere else on the mold, if I can. Live on camera. Who thought I would be tickling flaps live on camera on a YouTube live? I certainly didn't. It's another kind of show, that is. But again, just burnishing them in a little bit. Not too much, because I'm not bothered about the coverage at this point. I just want a bit of that glitter, a bit of that shine in there. And I think I'm happy with that. And we won't know until this is demolded as to what it's going to look like. But look at that already through the mold. Beautiful. So now, I haven't got OnlyFans. I'm not going to be getting OnlyFans. Sorry to disappoint. There's some things that I won't do for money. So I'm just going to put a little bit of this in the eye, if I can get it in the eye socket as well, just to make the eyes really stand out. Again, tiny little bit. You don't need a lot of this powder. Tiniest bit goes a long way. So I can see that in both of those eyes. And I'm happy with that. So look at that, eh? And I don't know what's going off in chat, so I'm going to have to come and have a look. I'm going to do the rest of this. So I want a little bit of this in these toes as well. Just in the toes. But it seems like you lot are having a good time in chat, which is always good. And this is live, you know? This is amazing. We're watching this axolotl come to life live on YouTube. Anything could happen. Again, a couple more in this one. I'm just going around the toes mainly to get this shimmer. I'll be squeezing the flaps in a minute when we get to the resin, so calm yourselves down. But there we go. So this is that toe. So we got those 2 feet pretty much done. Tiny bit more. What is going off in chat? But there we go. I'm glad you lot are enjoying it anyway. That is the main thing, you know. And it's been amazing, the support I've had on this channel from everybody in the community. So whilst you're all here, I just want to say thank you as well, because you know what? It makes it all worthwhile. It really does. And we've got some exciting lives. Those of you that are watching this back that don't know, we do interview style lives every Tuesday on this channel, where we get some amazing guests on talking about their resin creations, their journey, not only with resin, but also with YouTube, which is always fun. And it's always a good bit of a laugh. So there we go. I'm happy with that. I've got those powders where I want them, in those toes. So if you like those, I think they look pretty cool. And then the only other place I want this is just in that tail. And then we'll get on squeezing the flaps to keep you all happy. So again, just going to go down this center, almost down the spine. And let me know if you're liking this format, you know. I've never created on a live before. I want to know if you like it. I suppose it will probably also depend on what it comes out like at the end, which I'm hoping will be really good. So I'm just going to go into the end of the tail and try and get it around that end bit, because who doesn't love a sparkly tail? There we go, and I'm happy with that. So that is stage 1. That is pretty much the easy part, I think. And look at those tiny turners. Beautiful. So that's that. I'm going to check chat now, just to see what you lot have all been saying before we move on to the next stage. Hi Donna as well from DNA. It's nice to see you in chat. Right, what's going off in this chat? I'm just having a look. That pigment is gorgeous. You're right, Jules. Sparkly flaps. They are definitely going to be sparkly flaps, Lisa. Hey, Donna. Yeah, do you know what? This has been a great, entertaining day for me. So that was stage 1. So I can already see through the mold, though. Look at that already. We're going to have a pretty cool result, I think. Now what I'm going to do is, as I say, I've got these different pigment pastes, and actually I want a darker one. And I've got a darker purple here called Hellebore, and that's a gorgeous darker colour. So Oh, there we go. And there's one of those annoying foil lids. So you'll see why I need this in a minute. I'm just going to put some resin into this little pot. No particular measurements. You know me. I don't measure a thing. Then I'm going to get this. And I'm going to try and locate my scissors. My little girl asked for them earlier. And I think she may have pinched them. So here we go. I'm going to have to use my stirrer for this. Look at that. Beautiful colour though. So this is the darker one. And you won't need a lot of these pigment pastes. They're really, really concentrated. So whatever's left on that cocktail stick is all I'm going to use. That is going to just go in the resin. And we're going to mix it round and see that colour. And these are opaque. These aren't the transparent ones. So they should give us a really rich colour. And I'm just mixing it through. And I hate these little cups. Look at that. Beautiful. And this is probably going to go in those flaps, believe it or not. So, and then I'm also going to position it in other parts of this axolotl. But look at that for a colour. Stunning. So there's that. Now I'm going to mix up the other colours as well whilst we're on mixing colours, because it just makes sense to do so. So again, these are from Creating Bloom. I love their pigments. Lou over there is coming onto one of the lives as well soon. Can't remember the exact date off the top of my head, but that's going to be very exciting. So the next one I'm going to use is this Dahlia, which again, as you can see, I've not used yet. So I'm just going to have to improvise because I don't have my scissors. So this is the Dahlia, which is going to be a slightly darker pink, lighter pink, sorry. And again, just going to put a cup. I want a cup full of this one as well. And let me know in chat, do you think we're going to get a good axolotl here? I'm really hoping we do. So again, just mix it round. Whatever's left on the stick will be more than enough to colour this resin. And I'm excited. I really am, because I've been wanting this axolotl for a while. And the fact that it arrived today, which was the day of the collab, I wanted to make sure that I was still involved. So again, if you guys can share this around as well, because I can't wait to see what this turns out like. I've seen some of the amazing ones done today, and I'm hoping I can replicate some that are at least half as good. So that is that one. Now I want the lighter pink, and I'm just wondering if I've got enough cups out here for what I want to do. Probably not. But we are live. There's no stopping us now. So the next one is Oink, which is again a lovely light pink. Dahlia. That's how I say it. Not Dahlia. Dahlia would be the posh version of me. I say Dahlia. So here we go. And have I got some spare pots to the side? I have, good. Because I actually need another 2 for this technique. I call it a technique. It's not really a technique. It's just me having fun. So, here we go. These are little espresso cups as well. They work really well for resin. So again, I'm just going to pour equal amounts in here, and I'm hoping I'm still going to have some clear left after. There we go. But you might say, why is he doing 4 when there's only going to be 3 colours? And that's because I want a whitish colour in here as well, but not completely white. So this is that Oink, which I'm guessing is named after a little piggy. So I'm going to put the Oink in here. So I'm already using 3 of these different pigments in this, as well as those tiny turners, as well as a white. So we're going to get some kind of effect, I'm sure. So I'm just mixing it around, and look at that. That is a gorgeous pink, and I'm not a fan of pink. But these, actually, I can see me doing all sorts with these. There's going to be some blooms, I can tell you that. 100%. So again, that's that one. And then the final colour I'm going to do, just putting my lid back on my pot. And again, get yourself over to Create and Bloom. She does some amazing, amazing pigments and additives for your resins. And I think they're all absolutely stunning. So for the white, I've got a metallic white paste. I don't use it very often because it's almost a cream colour, if you can see that. And I'm not a big fan of cream, but I think in this, it could work quite well. So again, just putting a blob of it in here, and I'm going to mix that around. This is live, people. This is live. Do not forget, anything can go wrong and probably will. So here we go. This is that metallic white, which should give us a bit of a pearlescence. There we go. That's what I was after. Look at that. It's like liquid velvet in this one. So they're the four colours. Now I'm not done yet because I want a bit of extra sparkle in this before I start filling those flaps. So I've got these, which are like little Aurora purpley sparkle flakes. I don't want too many. Anything is possible, Steph. Anything is possible. So I'm just going to get some of these on the end of this and just put them randomly around. Hopefully sticking a few to the mould. Not too many, but I want a bit of sparkle. And a few in the head. And hopefully these will just slightly adhere to that mould. A couple in the legs. And this should just give us an extra little bit of sparkle, as well as those amazing colours that we're going to be using. If it works, you know, and it might not, and it might turn out horrible, who knows? This is all an experiment, as always. But there we go. I'm pretty happy with that. I think that is enough of these little flakes into that mould. So I'm going to give you a bit of a close-up before we go in with these pours, and we go on to the next step. So this is where we are at the minute. Look at that. So we've got those tiny turners in these flaps, as you want to call them. And now I want those to stand out as darker. So I'm going to try and fill those flaps with the darker colour. And I'm just going to use a needle tip bottle. Like so. And I'm going to try and tilt it and fill those flaps on the side. Now we are going to get some spillage in the end that'll all intermix, but I'm okay with that. As long as most of those are filled with that darker colour is the plan. And it's already looking pretty cute. Now I'm going to have to be quick here. And it should, he says, suck some up into that tip. So some has gone in. And now I'm just trying to get it into the flap. And that isn't working quick enough for me. And it's probably because the resin's already started to thicken up. So that was a great idea, but it's gone wrong. There we go. So next step. I still want to get it in there. I've never had problems getting it in the flaps before, but there we go. Let's try dripping it in with a silicone tool, shall we? There we go. Might take a little bit longer. The things you do for resin art. Oops, I nearly had a bit of a spillage there on the side. Have I got a pipette? Never got one when I want one. But I have got a little mic scoop at the side of me, so let's try this. Just letting it drip, and then in we go. That's a little bit better. And I don't know what's being said in the chat, but I'm sure it's pretty funny based on the conversations that have been had all day about these axolotl flaps or gills. And this is actually working better than I thought it would. I'm glad that this live is hilarious. And I'm glad you're all enjoying it. You know, that's what it's all about, having fun. That's what this whole resin community is about for me. It's about having a laugh with people that you enjoy spending time with. I will clean up the flaps afterwards, ladies. There we go. So I'm pretty happy with that one. Reasonably filled, but not all the way. If you can just see in there, that flap has been well filled. Now, I know as soon as I tilt this, it's going to start coming out. And there's nothing worse than when you get that oozing liquid coming out of those flaps. But here we go. I'm going to still go for it. Probably not as neat this time. But I want to get 3 or 4 of these into the other side now before it all comes out. And I think we're going to get a band across the middle. And this is where it all starts to go wrong. It was so neat, so tidy. Now we get creative. But I'm still happy. I'm getting most of it in there. And if I wanted to, I could wipe it off. But I actually quite like that. So that is that stage. Now the next bit is going to be quite fun. Because it's the pour. And I'm literally going to start off with a little bit of clear. Like so. And then we're going to layer these different colours. Saving the darkest till last. And you'll see why. In with a little bit of pink. Then a bit of the white. Metallic white, should I say. And I think this is going to turn out stunning. And I think it's going to be an almost natural axolotl colour. Hopefully. Just using these different shades and filling it up. Really loving that pearlescent white as well. All of that's in there now, and hopefully these are all going to mix together. They might not. Who knows? But that is the beauty of resin sometimes. You don't know what's going to happen. Now I'm going to add a little bit of clear. And then before I fill it up completely, I'm just going to squeeze the tail like so. And the flaps a little bit. Got to give those flaps a bit of a squeeze. There we go. That's nicely squeezed on one side. Nicely squeezed flap on the other. And then I'm going to go in with the rest of this pink. And we're almost there, but you might be thinking, what about the legs? And what about the end of the tail? I'm thinking the same, but that is why I mixed up the dark as well. So, again, I'm going to go in with the last of this white just because I really like the way it looks. And then we're going to hopefully have enough here to fill up these legs. I'm a little bit concerned that I might not have mixed up enough resin here. So I want to get these last drops in before I get to the legs. A bit more of the clear. And now we're going to go in with the dark. So here we go. Hopefully this will give us darker legs. A bit like when I do my frog legs. Here we go. And I don't know if this is going to work. I'm just praying it does. And this doesn't look level to me. Is this on something? On this side? Ah, it is. It's on a paintbrush. So there we go. Here we go. So I'm going to now try and fill it up completely. Making sure that I don't miss any of these toes. Because nobody likes an axolotl that's missing a toe. And I am going to come back to chat in a minute to see what's being said. Just going to fill up this tail as well, and then bring it all together by bringing it around this chin as well. But I think it's looking pretty cool so far. And it's going to be all about what the resin wants to do now. So I'm just going to use a silicone tool, pull these toes out, making sure that they're completely filled, like so. I can't believe we've done this live as well, and we haven't had a major catastrophe yet. Yet being the operative word. Now I'm just going to use the rest of this clear just to make sure it's full to the brim. And if I can get it slightly domed, which I think it is now. And there we go. That is going to be my axolotl. Now, I've still got a little bit of this resin left at the side as well. So all I'm going to do is pour it all together, see how much we've got, and then fill a drip mold. But I hope you're enjoying this. It's definitely an experience for me because I can't even see what anybody's saying in chat. So I'm going to turn around in a minute and I'm going to start reading some of the chat, and hopefully some of you will still be here and we can have a chat about what you think's going to happen with this axolotl. I do feel a bit left out of chat doing it this way and actually creating directly onto a live. It's very different to my interview lives, which we do every Tuesday. And if you haven't heard, we've got some pretty big guests coming on. So next week we've got Callie from Wildflower Preservation coming on Tuesday. Then we've got Lou from Create and Bloom, who actually makes these gorgeous pigment pastes. There's lots of artists confirmed and some big ones that you may have heard of. On the 6th of May, it's going to be a very big live, I think, because we've got two pretty well-known artists coming on the live, which is Wendy from Toonpish and Claire from Claire's Crafty Corner. So I'm sure you've heard of them. So I'm just having a look at how much resin I've got left in there. Not an awful lot, but enough, I think, to fill this little seahorse on the side. So again, just going to mix it around a little bit like so. And pour it in there. And we're going to have a pink little seahorse as well, which is a diamond mold from Into Resin. So we'll see how that cures. Again, I've never used pink in that, so that's going to be interesting. And I've still got the tiniest of bits left. Have I got a little teddy bear mold anywhere? Or something like that? No. In a word, I had loads of those teddy bear molds lying around. They're all in my kitchen ready for a clean. What have we got in this cupboard? Tell you what, I'm going to get a jewellery mould out just to use that last little tiny bit up and see if we can get a nice little cabochon. So just a jewellery mould, giving it a wipe, the ones that I want, and then hopefully, if it looks nice, it'll be a nice little cabochon for somebody. And that is just enough to fill that cabochon. And there we go. And unfortunately, you're not going to see the demold because I'm going to have to do it tomorrow. But one thing I promise, I will do it, I'll record it, and I'll post it out tomorrow. It's going to be about 24 hours from now. Ooh, I'm just going to try and give everything a clean whilst I'm still here. But yeah, I'm going to do it on a short, and I'll do a demolding on a short so that you guys get to see this axolotl at the same time as me. And do you know what? I'm excited. It's the first time I think on the collab that anyone's done a make live. And I'm honoured that it was me. So kind of got bullied into it from Lula and Jules in chat. But again, yeah, I love these pigment pastes already. And I'm going to be experimenting with those on some blooms, I think. So Lou, these are absolutely amazing. And I think these colours were perfect for this axolotl. We're going to see how it turns out tomorrow. But yeah, that was the Windswept collection that I used. And they're amazing because for 30 quid, you get 6 different colours. So break it down, it's what, about 5 quid a colour, which isn't a lot, and they go a long way. And they're absolutely stunning. So I'm going to be making some blooms with these as well. So yeah, I'm going to turn around now so I can actually see the chat. But remember to give it a thumbs up. It's my first creating live, and I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm gonna, as I say, I'm gonna be demolding this. I can actually see the chat now. I've turned around. So, or should I just leave the camera on it and we can watch it cure? It'd be like watching paint dry, but we could watch resin cure instead. But I'm looking forward to the demold, you know. I think we're going to get some really cool effects on this axolotl. The way it's already looking now, I am going to scroll up in a minute, Lisa. I'm glad you had fun though. But yeah, hopefully this is going to be an amazing axolotl when I demold it tomorrow. And if you haven't seen it, what we've got coming up as well, look at this dragon head. Hello. Lou, thanks for watching from the pub car park. Thanks, Sherry, for the super chat as well. Really appreciate that. But look at this dragon head with those tiny turners. It is stunning. And that video is coming live soon. Unless you remember. If you remember, it's live now. But look at that. Absolutely beautiful. And I'm actually going to be incorporating this with some wood soon. And carving a body for it, I think, because it came out so well. And if you didn't know, the tiny turner pigments, you can actually use them on wood as well, which is, I think, what they're originally invented for. So that's a stunning piece. And I'm looking forward to it. Sherry says it's the first live creation you've seen. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you, Highland, as well, Steph. That is amazing. I tell you what, I'm going to do these every week, I think, at this rate. What do you think? Should it be a regular feature on the channel? Should we do a live creation once a week? Let me know what you think in comments. But thank you all for being here as well. It's been great to get 20 of you here on a Saturday night, of all things. So, yeah, it's been great having you all here. Thank you so much for the super chats as well. Absolutely love it. Don't forget, next Tuesday, we've got the live on the channel, as always, and we've got Callie from Wildflower Preservation on, and it should be a fun chat. And then the week after, we've got our very own Lou coming on from Create and Bloom. So that is going to be amazing. And I can't wait to hear more about Lou's journey. I've seen little bits of it in interviews, but I can't wait to hear it from her herself and see how she's built an amazing business with great pigments and fans all over the place, you know. I think they are stunning. So I'll see you all on the next video. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday night, and thanks for being here. And don't forget, tomorrow I am going to do a short with a demolding of this axolotl so that we all see what it looks like. Appreciate you all. See you soon.